Please, warm welcome for Dave Morgan. Dave?
Good morning. I was not at Amelia Island in 2016, but I was speaking at panels on advanced TV in the 1990s, so I've unfortunately been a little too far ahead on this topic. So we're going to talk about what's going on in TV and video over these next couple days. I think that Media Post does an extraordinary job on this topic with this event particularly. And I do encourage you to read Media Post on a regular basis and certainly read Media Insider on Thursdays, where I've been writing for about 23 years, I think. And you know, love Joe Mandisi and everything he's been doing with the product. So why are we talking about TV and video? Well, I think particularly everybody on the marketer side, which you know is that virtually all the growth that most brands and retailers have seen in the last 4 or 5 quarters has been coming from pricing. And you can't get pricing on a search and social ads. You're going to have sight, sound, and motion actually make your brand, your product, your service, your value proposition mean something to a consumer, and you're going to need to be able to engage them. And that's something that nothing does as well as TV and video. That's been known for decades and decades and decades. Unfortunately, not only is TV continually still really, really powerful, anybody that's been working in this business knows that right now most TV and streaming video is a mess. Right? Does anyone not think it's a mess? Massively fragmented, hard to know exactly how much viewership there is. We have all sorts of debates on measurement and currency and trying to understand what it is. We have a lot of people that know linear TV but don't know digital. We have a lot of people that know digital but don't know how TV works. We're trying to find ways to hybridize and make those things work together. And while it is a mess, I think we're all here because we recognize that it's very, very fixable. It's going to take work. We're in a transitionary period, a very digital transformation period of TV, which we've been waiting for decades. We're in the middle of it, but it's going to take hard work, and that's why we're here. And you know, hopefully can give you a sense of some of the things that are fixable. I'm going to talk about one particular area which I think is a real problem. I think most people think is a real problem in how streaming and linear TV advertising is handled today. We have a real transparency problem. Now, my children, my daughters are now 19 and 20, so I don't remember this as well, but how many people know you get what you get and you don't get upset? Right? That's like the hula hoop colors, like, I want purple. No, girls, you get what you get and you don't get upset. That's how most of you are treated when it comes to streaming and linear TV. Oh, don't worry about what spots you got. Don't worry about what episode it ran in. Don't worry about what platform it's on. It's all good stuff. No, I think that advertisers have an absolute right to transparency. Yes, Peacock doesn't want everybody to know, and I love my friends at NBCU. They don't want everyone to know that the majority of the ad impressions delivered on Peacock are on reruns of Law and Order. There's nothing wrong with that. We love Law and Order. But you should know that. You should be able to know that and decide you're going to get it there. You're going to get it in the USA streaming product, or do you want to get it on linear TV? And yes, Max, HBO Max, Friends is the #1 show there. Reruns of Friends. They're not shooting it anymore. So that's okay. That's really great, high-quality programming, but you should know that. So we've been working with a number of folks around the industry and industry groups particularly, to try to put together what we think should be the advertiser, your Bill of Rights when it comes to transparency, and we're doing what we can at Simulmedia to help get this adopted, to help get this enforced, and get more people involved. One, we believe advertisers have the right to know the programs, network services, and apps where their ads appear. Does anyone disagree with that? Now, one of the reasons you should care about that is that if you look at any of the numbers coming from really large panels out there, like Nielsen Gauge, which is now based on 3.5 million households. At Simulmedia, we have data on more than 20 million households. We all know that 40% of TV viewing is now happening in streaming. 40% of the time people watch on TV is streaming. What percent of the ads that are watched on TV are happening on streaming? Anyone want to guess? If it's 40% content, how much of the ad viewing time is on streaming? Crickets. No, it's not 40 because most streaming carries no ads or light ad loads, few ads. So it's something less than 40. How much less? 10. Between 9.5% and 10%. So when everyone's shifting 40% of their budgets, because that's how much people are watching streaming, there's 4 times more money than there is inventory in CTV. So you really should know where it goes because maybe a lot of the stuff you're buying isn't actually real. Maybe it's those little, like those farms that we used to see, the mobile phone farms that were doing all the mobile ads. They just make them say that they're CTVs today now. 2, advertisers have the right to know on which devices their ads are viewed. Is it on a TV or is it on a mobile phone? That might matter, right? If you want sight, sound, and motion, lean back environment, you might really like to know. Does anyone think that should not be a right? That every ad should have to give you that transparency? 3, advertisers have the right to know the sources, composition, and methodologies of the data and models used to target and measure their ads. Do you know that if you went on to Oracle's website, and I love the Oracle people, it's nice that they've done this, and you actually put in your own name or identity information, you can use it on your own cookie, it'll tell you what segments that you fall in. Has anyone ever done that? If you do it, you're going to find you're both a man and a woman. You're going to find that you are in segments from 18 to 80. You're going to find that you have bought 8 or 10 different new cars in the last year. Because everybody that puts data together and does lookalikes has lots of incentive to put you in more segments and no incentives to put you in less. I mean, think about that. Everybody in the data game has more incentives to put you in a segment than to put you in less segments. Because everybody wants throughput, everyone wants high match rates, everybody wants lots of volume, and the more volume you have, the lower the price pressure you have, the more you can find matches. So guess what? If you're targeting on cookies, device IDs, emails off of almost any vendor, and if you talk to the people who founded all these data management platforms, because they're all friends of mine, you don't even have to give them a drink anymore to tell you that what I just told you is true. So you have a right to know exactly what the methodology of that is so that you can interrogate it and determine to accept it or reject it. That's why your own first-party data is probably all you can really trust. 4, advertisers have the right to independent, transparent, accredited third-party measurement of their campaigns. Yes, everybody that sells media is going to give you some measurement because they should and they will to be able to let you know what they've gotten. But you should, no matter what, have a right to have that independently verified by a third party. How many accredited third-party measurement firms are able to operate on Google and Google YouTube? Anyone have an answer? 0! I love them. Buy a lot of search, it's very powerful. YouTube is by far the most powerful streaming platform out there in scale. But if you want independent, verified, accredited measurement, you aren't going to get it there. But maybe you should have a right to it. Advertisers have a right to verify their ads are being viewed by real users and not bots and fraudulent sources. All you need to do is go use a bot. There's a lot of open source bots. You can just go in and run through one, and you can set up a couple proxies, and then start visiting websites, and then look at the ad string in the call. And you're going to see verification services will say yes or no as to whether it's real or not. So go through a known bot, or at least have someone in your IT department do it for you. It's fun. And you're going to find that when you go in as a known bot, you are going to be verified as an actual real user 95% of the time. Because once again, nobody has any incentive to actually remove that from the process when everybody's participating in the transaction. Everybody wants lower costs, lower CPMs, more throughput, higher match rates, fewer exclusions. I think these things need to change. So, hitting the wrong green. What are we doing to ensure transparency? 1, All of these circles out there, this is the complex media landscape we have today, are walled gardens. And we think the future is not just about cross-channel, it's about cross-garden. And it's going to have to be for helping advertisers and agencies do their TV and video campaigns across all of these gardens. It's going to have to be penetrating each and every one and getting this kind of transparency in each one and making it work across them. That means publisher direct, not working with aggregators. Number two, building proprietary technology that you know can actually penetrate into them. Open, unbiased assessment, being able to show people if this is what you're looking for, here's all of the selections out there, and this is why this system, whether it's planning or activation, has chosen each and every one of platform spots. Market questioning, like interrogating, is this actually real? Getting through the walled garden silos. That means content-level transparency, telling everyone exactly where every show that the content that their ads appear. Will appear, pre-logs and post-logs, both in linear and in streaming. App transparency, knowing exactly which of the apps was it viewed on, because there's a lot of different permutations and combinations. Device transparency, knowing exactly which devices are out there. Everyone says they can get you to all these CTVs. Actually interrogate them to make sure that they're going to give you the real transparency all the way down. Audience transparency. Actually show them the building blocks on how exactly every segment of audience has been constructed and be able to do it post so that you can break it down that it was actually that audience. Independent verification. Being able to verify all of it. Being able, independent fraud detection, being able to work with whatever of the third-party firms that you choose to be able to do it. I think these kinds of things are essential for us to be able to move this industry forward as the television budgets that have long been sought by digital are merged into the digital budgets with connected TV and grow. Right now, and I love these companies, and I have very good friends that are running sales at every one of them. Like, I've been around a long time. So, and, you know, one of my former colleagues is the CFO of Google. Like, but I can't sit here and say that they're actually being transparent because they're not. They don't think they need to be until people demand that they will be. We need to empower advertisers. I think that's how you should all be. Like, yes, we know what we got, right? Thank you. DavidSimulmedia.com. If you have any questions, that's where you can follow me on Twitter. Yes, I do tend to take way too many posts and put them up on LinkedIn and places like that. One question, and then if anyone has one question.
I'm sure if anyone has a question, please do.
Question?
If not, we have a couple of days here to ask questions of these guys. Anyone? 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 Okay.
Someone has a question.
Okay. Yeah. I have a question. Where's your team? You've got a number of your guys here. So
that was a great one. So my team, please stand up. We've got JD, we've got Stu, we've got Adam, and we've got Ryan. They're going to be here the whole time. I'm going to be here all today, all this evening, out tomorrow morning.
Excellent. All right, Dave Morgan, thanks so much, my friend. Thank you.